Hey everyone, it's Jade from Boho Bookworm. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm giving you my December wrap-up part 1. So at the end of November, I'd been reading the third book in the Diana Madden series called If You Dare, and that's by Torre. It is such a fantastic book series, you guys. If you're not too, averse to erotic fiction, then I would highly suggest that you give this one a go, because although it is very graphic and explicit, it is also a thriller, and it is fantastic. The storyline is brilliant. It's about this girl called Diana Madden, and when she was young, something really horrific happened to her, and it led her to have these really psychopathic tendencies. So she's got this absolute thirst for blood. She locks herself away into this apartment. The first book in the series is called The Girl in 6E. So she's in this apartment called 6E, and she makes money doing live webcamming, like sex work basically. And she makes absolute fortune. She locks herself away for like 3 years so that she doesn't harm anyone. But, she really, really wants to. I've spoken about it a little bit, so I won't go too in depth, but the first 2 books are brilliant. Then I read the third book, and I had heard a couple of years ago, apparently she said that it wasn't going to be the last book in the series, though it's been a couple of years and nothing else has been released yet, which is really saddening. That said, I still really liked the third book, but I don't quite think it met the expectations of the first 2. I didn't find this one quite as thrilling. It's definitely not as erotic. It was a lot more slow paced in my opinion. Book 3 definitely had more of a mystery element to it, and also something that kind of threw me off a little bit was how much Diana's character changed in this book. But then when I think about it and reflect upon it, I think, so the first book she was, in her early 20s, and since then she's matured, she's grown, she's discovering and experiencing all these things for the first time, like freedom and first love, and she's just kind of growing up a little bit. So I guess in a way I understand why her character is changing and developing, but it just didn't have that same kind of feel to it as the other books, though I still did give it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I highly recommend the series to you. The next book I read was The Magpie Society, which was co-written by Zoe Sugg, who I absolutely love, famous YouTuber, and her friend Amy McCulloch, which I might be pronouncing wrong, who knows. But yeah, as soon as I heard that Zoe Sugg was writing a thriller, I just had to get my hands on it. Even though it's YA, which isn't my normal thing, I have been trying to branch out of my comfort zone a little bit, and it's actually been going really well. I'm enjoying something different from the thriller genre. I mean, this is thriller, but YA and just kind of getting out of my comfort zone is a good thing for once. The Magpie Society is about this girl from America who has to go to this boarding school in the UK, and she just really wants to keep herself out of drama and trouble. But when she gets there, this girl gets murdered, and her body's found with this tattoo of a magpie on her back. And her roommate and her, although they have this strong dislike for each other, they both are very much connected because they want to solve this murder, and they start doing their own investigation. There's a big podcast element to this book that I absolutely loved. It made the audio version of this book really fascinating and really well done. Yeah, I was really surprised, but how good the writing was. I mean, it's not like jaw-dropping, but it's YA thriller, it's fun, it's mysterious, and I really actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would, so well done. I also gave this book a 4 out of 5 star review on Goodreads. And like I said, with stepping out of my comfort zone, I then read a fluffy contemporary chick-lit rom-com by Sophie Kinsella, the new Sophie Kinsella book called Love Your Life. I think I forget how much I absolutely adore just a good chick lit from time to time, especially around this time of year where it's all festive and Christmassy, there's so much love in the air. It just felt really good to get away from, the gritty, dark thrillers that I always seem to just immerse myself in. So, Love Your Life is about this girl called Ava who goes off to this writing retreat in Italy. She's just really tired of online dating, wants to go and finally write this book that she's had this idea and image in her head of for quite a while. She gets to this writing retreat and meets this dude who, they're not allowed to share any personal information with each other, not even their real names. So she meets this guy called Dutch, And they start forming this really strong connection and bond. They quickly have sex and fall into a lovely whirlwind romance. But sorry, I'm sick, so I'm probably not pronouncing things 100% correctly right now. Full of a cold. But so everything seems to be going like superb. She's sure this is the dude that she is going to marry. But once they return to England and re-enter the real world, things aren't quite as, hunky-dory. They have quirks that make them who they are, that, maybe they don't really like about each other. They discover things that irritate them about each other. And I think this book came into my life at the perfect time because, I moved in with my boyfriend for lockdown in the UK, and obviously in a new relationship like that, it's very pressurizing for a new relationship, and it's something that I said I wouldn't do because I need this sense of independence right now. So I kept my flat, but I moved in with him for just lockdown, so it was easier and, in the rules to be part of the same household and all that. And yeah, we just discovered things about each other, and we went through a bit of a rocky patch. Luckily and thankfully we're doing a lot better now. We're understanding each other, we're communicating more, and this book really highlights that, and just the compromise you need to have in a relationship. It was a really nice read. It was deep but funny, had the classic Kinsella humour, which I absolutely love. I mean, I've read a couple of her books. I've read My Not So Perfect Life, I've read The Undomestic Goddess, and what was the other one? Finding Audrey. But I have to say that this one, Love Your Life, is definitely my favourite of hers so far. I just really connected with the story, and I guess it's because what I was going through at the time of reading it. I did give it a 4-star review on Goodreads, and yeah, if you like, rom-coms, that kind of thing, and if you're a fan of Sophie Kinsella, then I would love to know what you think about this book. I did have a few qualms with it though. So, for instance, like Ava as a main character did really irritate me. I mean, yeah, there were things, she's definitely not perfect. She did have a really naughty dog, and she just didn't seem to understand that it needs some training. So I understood the guy's point of view with his frustrations with that, because, he was just like biting handbags and stealing food off plates, and she was just, batting her eyelids and ignoring it. And I was just like, no, if you're going to have an animal, you need to train them properly. So yeah, that kind of stuff. She was just a bit airy and annoying. And then secondly, Matt, who is Dutch, I didn't like how quickly his character changed. So at the writing retreat, he was just this absolutely marvellous guy, full of fun, spontaneous, funny. Then going back to England, he just suddenly turned into this absolute pompous, arrogant arsehole who was just a bit of a miserable git. And then I also reflected upon it, and I was like, well, to be honest, and I'm so sorry, but it's kind of what happened with me and my partner moving in together. I think just lockdown itself got the better of us. It was a hard time. It was stressful, it's miserable weather, it's dark 18 hours a day, and being constantly around each other just really affected us. Because, if he was grouchy and grumpy, and I'm like, what's wrong? And then, me asking what's wrong all the time obviously didn't help, and it annoyed him. So, I understood how a character can change, and this book kind of made me understand things a lot more. So it was really helpful for me. Yeah, I kind of feel like I know this book is supposed to be that, typical Sophie Kinsella silly rom-com, but to me, it had a bit of a deeper meaning, which I really appreciated, and I really got a message from this book. Anyway, I will catch up with you soon. I hope you're all well, and let me know what you've been reading in the comments down below. Have a lovely day, and if you're new here, please subscribe, give me a like and a comment, say hi. I love to talk to you all. Talk to you soon. Bye.